When the first tanks rolled into Iraq in 2003, Lieutenant Tim McLaughlin was among those leading the charge. His battalion became the first unit of Marines to make it to Baghdad. It was the beginning of a long, brutal war, and many moments still haunt McLaughlin today.
Shooting a few seconds too early and shooting a taxi cab. A few days later, I didn't shoot fast enough, and the enemy shot one of the Marines behind me. So that's just one experience among thousands, but that's the one that sticks with me because I got them wrong.
McLaughlin kept a handwritten diary in those days. Poster-sized excerpts are now on display here at the Bronx Documentary Center in New York. The multimedia exhibit also includes work from two journalists, writer Peter Mass and photographer Gary Knight. Both covered the beginning of the invasion of Iraq and closely followed McLaughlin's unit. Knight says the show depicts realities of the war that remain unreported today.
The narrative of the war has never really been told from a personal perspective. You know, the narrative of the war has always been told by media organizations who have an agenda or by politicians who have an agenda. And so our desire was to come together and just tell the war the way that we saw it.
McLaughlin has since moved on from the war and is now a lawyer in Boston. But he has struggled with PTSD and learned hard lessons from the battlefield.
If I could give any message to the public, it would be to think more critically about decisions to go to war. Because sometimes wars need to happen, and they do, but rushing into them without thinking of the consequences during combat and after combat, those are important considerations that I think we should spend a little bit more time thinking about.
Visitors have until April 19th to check out the Iraq War Diaries, a rare and raw insight from the field 10 years on.